Hey there, this is Dr. Mort Orman, and it's a beautiful morning here in Maryland where I live. And I wanted to continue our discussion this week about what we can learn from the Apprentice TV show about how to deal with stress effectively. And as I've been talking about this week, there are a lot of corollaries between how the Apprentice TV show was set up, even though it was a reality show and obviously parts of it were concocted and manipulated. But there are a lot of realities or aspects of that show that relate directly to the skills that we need to bring to bear in order to deal with stress effectively. And in earlier videos this week, I talked about the fact that the Apprentice show focuses on a particular problem or challenge every week, just as we face problems and challenges in our lives that we call stress. And those problems and challenges need to be solved. And the structure of the show is that there are two teams competing against each other to function as teams to support each other in producing the best outcome related to those challenges, or the best solution related to that challenge. But I want to focus today on something very critical that was a centerpiece of that show. And it came at the very end of each episode. So it was shorter in duration than the rest of the program, where you got to see the teams working on the challenge and what they did during the entire week for the bulk of the show. But at the very end, the last 10 or 15 minutes, the losing team had to go into the boardroom and face the music and do a root cause analysis of how come they didn't win. What went wrong? Who dropped the ball? What were the flaws in their game plan? And who was responsible? Who should have been aware of this, or who should have figured this out and corrected it but didn't? And it highlights the whole aspect of doing in-depth root cause analysis. And that was one of the great things about the Apprentice TV show, is that it allowed all of us in the viewing audience, millions and millions of people around the world, to actually watch a group of people doing in-depth root cause analyses, and doing it with the guidance of an experienced team of business people who obviously were very adept at doing root cause analyses and getting down to some of the critical issues that should have been addressed by the losing team. So it was a very interesting process to watch, because it was based on an attempt to get at the truth about what really happened, who dropped the ball, who didn't do something that was critical from a business standpoint. And not only to identify all the different things that went wrong and all the different people who dropped the ball, but what was the most critical one. Because that person, whoever was responsible for that piece of the puzzle, would end up getting fired or eliminated from the show. So not only did you have to first get the truth out about what went down and what happened, and who were the good performers and who were the not good performers, but then you had to assess for the people who didn't perform as well as they could have, which one was the most critical. That was another fun aspect of the show, is once you could see all the different things that went wrong, okay, who is going to be determined to be the most culpable? So, for example, there was one episode, and I don't remember the details of it, but the long and short of it was, as the losing team was doing the root cause analysis, it turned out that they made a fatal mistake right from the beginning. And that is, they were supposed to be preparing some type of an advertising campaign for a very big company. And they made the mistake of not going first thing and talking with the executives of the company to find out what they wanted, what they were looking for. They just assumed they knew, based on what they knew about the company, they knew what kind of ad they would appeal to them. Whereas the team that won the competition, that's the first thing they did. They scheduled a meeting with the executives, the advertising executives for the company. And they sat down, they said, okay, tell us what you're looking for. What would you like us to produce for you? And it turned out in the root cause analysis piece that that was the fundamental, the most critical mistake that the losing team made. And whoever was responsible for that, or should have been responsible for making sure that was done, ended up getting fired in that episode. So I bring this up because when we're dealing with our own problems, our own stressful problems in life, what we need to do is we really need to do a root cause analysis, just like they did on the Apprentice show. We need to find out all the different things that are involved, and then we need to take action to deal with the most critical things that'll make the biggest difference. So in that sense, that reality TV show, which was pure theater, but actually had some aspects of real life embedded in it, demonstrated exactly what we need to do in our own lives individually. And also relating to the previous video, it shows us how you really need a team. You need expertise to be able to do and help to be able to do a really good in-depth root cause analysis and to get down to the bottom, because you may not be aware of the things that you're not doing well. You may not be aware of the things you're not seeing or were critical to the success or the solution of a particular problem. You need somebody to help you, just like the people in the boardroom on the losing team had the benefit of all the years of experience of Donald Trump's team, whoever was in those roles in each episode, to contribute their expertise to guiding the questioning, guiding the root cause analysis, getting at the truth of what actually happened, and also sorting out which pieces were more critical than the other. So again, here's another key lesson that we can learn from the Apprentice TV show, and I would say it was part of the appeal of that show, is that we got to watch really good, maybe not perfect, maybe somewhat, theatrical, but sometimes, but really good, in-depth, honest root cause analysis. And that's what we need to do ourselves. So that's another key piece that we could take away from the Apprentice TV series that relates to our ability to eliminate stress and prevent stress and to have much less stress in our lives. So I'll continue with some more aspects of how the Apprentice TV show can contribute to our ability to reduce our stress in the next video, and I'll talk with you then.